The story of the books, the main theme behind the books is to get out there in life and make a difference. Don't sit back and wait for everybody else to change your world, be an agent of change. And the blog that I wrote basically talked about, it wasn't that hard. It's not something where you've got to make a major change. It's not something where you've got to change the world in a single breath. There was a father who comes in regularly to the restaurant, and I see him occasionally and say hello, and every once in a while he comes in with another young man who's struggles physically and struggles mentally. And I went to him one day and talked to the father. I said, who do you bring in? Tell me about him. And he told me about his son Anthony and what his issues are and his challenges in life. And I asked him, next time would you come in, would you introduce Anthony to me, because I'd like to meet him. And he did. He brought him in the next time, and brought him to my table and went and ordered his food and left me with Anthony alone, and we talked and shared, and it was kind of a neat conversation. Then he walked away and went and had food with his father, and as they were leaving, he got to the door and he turned around and smiled at me and said, waving, bye-bye. And the kid smiled, this big smile, and I hadn't seen him smile at any point in any of the other times in the restaurant. Interesting, after I wrote that blog, I bumped into them again at the restaurant, and I told them that I had written it. And they said, well, neither one of them are really on the internet, and that was kind of the end of the conversation. A couple of days ago, Ron came in and said, can I see what you wrote? So I sat down and brought up the blog for him to read it. And he was really excited by it, and he said, how can I print this out? And I said, I gave him my card with the address for the website and said, you can take it to anybody who's got a computer and they can print it out for you. It's right there for everyone. So it had an impact on both Ron and Anthony. And the point of the blog was, it isn't that tough. It took me a minute or two to connect with Ron. It took me 2 or 3 minutes to connect with Anthony. I didn't go out there and change the world. I just reached out to a fellow human being and let them know I noticed them, and I appreciated them for who they are and the efforts that they make, and Ron for what he does to include his son in his life, and Anthony for the efforts he makes to spend time with his dad. And it had an impact on them, and that's what the books are all about. You don't have to do what David's done, and you don't have to go out and climb on a burning bus. All you have to do is reach out to the person next to you. I grew up around the Brighton Pool, and I talk in this blog about how crowded the pool was in the summers, and how there were 6 chairs around the outside of this pool for lifeguards, and the lifeguards would stand over there and they'd watch everybody, and they'd sit there and spin their whistle around their fingers and put tanning lotion on and yell at the kids to stop running. And I thought about David and the world that he's in and the world that I'm in, and the pool was so crowded I couldn't imagine how anybody could drown because they were so close to each other. All they had to do was reach out to the person next to them. And yet in our world today, so many people are drowning with people all around them, and they don't reach out. And it brought me back to Brighton Pool. It brought me back to realize that as we travel through life, people are hurting, people are struggling, people are in their own ways drowning. And they're not going to reach out to you. You kind of have to reach out to them. And in a way, David is part shepherd, and David's part lifeguard. And he's spinning around with his whistle around his finger and yelling at people, slow down, stop running. And we all need to do that. We all need to slow down and look around us, because there are people hurting in our worlds, and they've never been in a place where they could share that hurt, and all you have to do is listen. And that's what David does the most, is he listens.